Hi everybody, Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today's video is about how much it costs to rent a violin. I've done videos before about how to rent a violin, and you could check out that video. There's a link in the description. But today's just about the costs to rent a violin. Obviously, rental rates vary a lot. So for today's video, I'm just going to use Kennedy Violins' rates as a kind of a baseline, right? So we're a national company, and therefore, because we're bigger and we send around all around the United States, we're going to have extremely competitive rates compared to a lot of the rates you'll see in the United States. But we're not the only ones renting violins. Now, if you live in a really kind of prestigious or nice town, then you'll probably have to pay higher rates. If you live in a really small town with just one mom and pop and no competition, you'll also have to pay high rates. So most violin shops will have a variety of violins that you can get depending on your level. Our least expensive violin is $19.95 a month. And this violin is meant for most of the kids who are, they're in orchestra at school, right? So they're in orchestra at school, they probably don't have a private instructor, and the parents are looking for the nicest violin that they can get for the least amount of money. So it's $19.95 a month is what we have. And now there's a setup fee. When you first get the violin, it's like 19 bucks. That covers shipping, it covers setting the violin up, brand new strings, stuff like that. And then if you wanted to exchange the violin or get a bigger size or just get another instrument or something, then there's that 19 bucks. But that's about it. So it's $19.95 a month, and then there's the setup fee for $19. Now if you want insurance, that's extra. It's like $6 a month. And our insurance covers everything, right? Complete loss, right? Somebody steals it, or the kid loses it, or they try to float with it down the river or something, right? So, but that's about it. And I think that's, if you look around at really competitive rates, you can expect to pay that kind of money. Okay, so there's a few things to consider besides just the monthly cost. Okay, so the first one would be look out for hidden fees. A lot of companies will have a lot of hidden fees associated with not only when you buy it, but then when you exchange it or you return it. Maybe they'll have, extra kind of contractual obligations or something like that. So you just want to find out what all the hidden costs are, if there are any, before you sign on the dotted line. The other thing is that you want to find out how easy the exchanges are. So with us, you basically just pay for that $19 setup fee that I mentioned. So maybe you want to exchange because you want a nicer, like a higher level violin, or maybe you got a little violin, you want to get a bigger violin, right? But that's it. But sometimes, you might have companies that have like restocking fees, or maybe, I don't know, they create all kinds of impediments that make it difficult, or maybe the turnaround time is really long, it really shouldn't be. So you want to make sure that exchanges are really easy. So the last thing that I would mention is, do they have a rent-to-own option? So with all of our violins, every time you make a monthly payment, that counts towards ownership if you decide to buy it at some point, right? Not everybody wants to buy their violin. They just want to be done with it after school's over. So this way you don't feel like you're wasting so much money. So some places have rent-to-own, some don't. Some have a rent-to-own option, but then you have to pay more per month. So it's just a really good question to ask. So the last thing that I want to mention before I forget is try to rent from a place that specializes in stringed instruments. You more than likely, if you rent from a place that, they rent trombones and guitars and I don't know, harmonicas, whatever, flutes, then there's a pretty good chance that you're not going to get a great violin. It's probably not going to be set up properly, may not have been stored or cared for properly or cleaned properly. So try to buy from an actual violin place. They specialize in stringed instruments. And I think, like I said, I think about $20 a month. Maybe there's a setup fee, but that's about it. I think that's a really good competitive rate that you should look for no matter where you are in the United States. So with that, I hope you guys found this video helpful. And if you have any more questions, put them below. I answer just about all the questions. And with that, I bid you guys adieu and have a great day.